Hello everyone, my name is Lance090 and welcome back to my tutorial series on Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. So we just made our character and now we're in our little shelter that we spawned in. So first things we can check out here. These brown hashtags are benches. These quotation marks are windows. These what do we call these things? Brackets are lockers. These yellow arrow symbols are the staircases. Ampersand is us, the ampersand is us, and this ampersand is NPC. The sixes are computers. This one down here is broke, but this one up here is working. It's also producing some light around it, so you can use that to read and craft things next to it. If we press the same symbol of these staircases, we can go down them, so shift period key. There's a lighter. Hello. Another lighter. Lighters used to always spawn with 100 fuel, but now they spawn with kind of random fuel. Ooh, hot plates are amazing. I'm grabbing one of that for sure. Can of chicken. Beginners is a book. No boots. Drowsy cough syrup isn't too important. Lamp oil. I don't have a lamp, so it's not really useful. Bandages are awesome. Ooh, a wood axe. That is kind of interesting. I respond with a wood axe so nearby. We need it for chopping down trees and stuff, but also do a decent melee weapon job if we really wanted it to. Oh man, I don't know. Grab it, but I'm not going to necessarily equip it. Winter coat that fits, we're already wearing one. Okay, so we're going to drop some of the stuff on the ground. Book, the wood axe, and the hot plate. Going to need those right now. Going to open this window so we have some light in the shelter. You do need light to craft and things. So first thing we should do, we should talk to this NPC and see if it. Well, they always have a quest. So well, I guess it's just us. Can I do anything for you? One job. Can you tell me about it? This guy wants a flag. He'll start to figure out what the set quests are. There's not too many of them yet. He asks us to find a flag and bring it back to him. If you ask him for advice, he'll give you advice way to find it, but it's like schools is where they're at. We're going to ask him if he can share some equipment, and then tell him, well, I am helping you out. He gives me aspirin. Aspirin's pretty decent. Thanks, see you later. I have aspirin and bandages, so we're doing okay on the medical supplies so far. Now, first thing we want to do, I actually have a wood axe, so I could use that, but I just want you guys to know that you can do this no matter where you actually spawn. Just got lucky that there's wood axe. Okay, moose can be hostile, so just want to avoid them. What you need to do is go get a rock. So I see black rat that's triggering our safe mode. They like follow you but don't necessarily attack you. I'm gonna grab this rock and kill it, just so it doesn't follow me around and stuff. Pretty much always better to wield something than wield nothing. Of course, this isn't doing very much damage to him. Actually, it's not doing anything. Never mind about what I just said. It's better to wield something that's actually useful. I didn't hit him at all. Okay, we have too much torso encumbrance, but we're going to deal with that as soon as we can. I'm going to bash down this locker. Smash it down, I should say. Smash down this bench. I'm going to smash down this window. Okay, now I'm going to drop the rock. Shift 7 or ampersand to craft. We're going to craft a makeshift crowbar. So all you need to do to make this makeshift crowbar is have a rock that gives you the hammering of one or more. Have a pipe. Smashing the locker gives you the pipe. Press ampersand. Don't even have to have these things in your inventory. They can just be on the ground nearby. Make a makeshift crowbar. I'll tell you right now, makeshift crowbar is one of the best weapons in the game. going to go ahead and equip that bad boy. And why is it the best, one of the better weapons in the game? Well, let's look at the stats of it. 12 bash is pretty decent. 1 cut damage, +2 to hit bonus is pretty fair. It only goes up to like +3 anyway. Boost per attack, 101, that's pretty normal. It's not slow, and it does a decent amount of damage. But when you are wielding a crowbar, you can just shift A on an item. Let's go outside. I'm walking into the window right now, the asterisk, oops, or the quotation marks, I should say. See, it's not opening. Can't open windows from the outside. If we shift A, it'll automatically use the item that is in our hands. In this case, it's a crowbar. Then do it in that direction. It broke the glass that time. It can just open them sometimes. You can also just smash things to do that, but we just got unlucky that it smashed it instead of opened it. Usually it'll just open a window or open a door without making very much noise. And it's a lot faster than what you'd normally have to do if you just had a crowbar in your inventory instead of equipped, which would be you'd have to press A, regular A, not capital A. Then you'd have to figure out where it is in your inventory and select it and then press the button. So it cuts out a step or two, just be wielding it. But it's just a really good melee weapon. You'll just have to trust me on that. It's one of the better ones we'll have for quite some time, unless we get really lucky. But our hands are getting cold. Go to our plus sign menu here. Our legs are cold, our hands are cold, our head is cold. This is because we are wearing jeans, that's why our legs are cold. It's nuclear winter, as I said before. So it's very cold outside, even though it's spring. Our hands are cold because we're not wearing anything on our hands at all. We do have pockets on our coat, but that's not really enough. And I don't really know how the hood and pockets work on coats like this. To me, it doesn't seem like they always work. So we need to make some hand gear to make our hands warm. And our head is also cold. We also need to make something for it. That's why I broke down the windows here. I'm going to drop the crowbar for a moment, because we're going to need the hold something there. So these windows, these piles, they're right here, these little comma piles, they're up grass shards and sticks and things, but the main thing we want is a sheet. Puts it into our hands, because it's too heavy to put in our inventory. So now we press the A button to activate an item. Let's activate our pocket knife, H. 1 to cut something up, and then select the sheet. It's in this case. Wielding that, am I sure? Yes. So we can drop these rags so we're not overburdened. And do the same thing to this other sheet. Activate. Pocket knife. Sheet. Wielding that, yes. Drop the rags. Okay, now let's grab one rag. Select it. And Shift D to disassemble it. This turns the rag into thread. It automatically drops it for some really stupid reason. I don't know why. Now we have thread. Now if you go to the crafting menu, go to the other category, we can make a wooden needle. This is because there's a splintered wood on the ground because we smashed a bench. Why is there a light way over there? I guess it just turned to sunny outside. So we're actually not quite as cold as we were a second ago because it's sunny now. It's not too important. We have a wooden needle now, so let's select it and reload it. We just reloaded the needle with thread. Now the wooden needle has 100 charges. Now if we go back to the crafting menu again, tab over to armor, there's a ton of stuff we can craft. Like I said, our hands are getting cold. We're going to make that a priority. We're going to make hand wraps. We're also going to put those on immediately because we don't want ourselves to freeze. It might not necessarily turn sunny for you guys right off the bat like that. We actually are already chilly, so it's going to start telling us soon that something's going to freeze off of our body. We don't want to be a good time, so put on the hand wraps. And now I'll make light gloves as well. Okay, so if we go back to our plus sign menu, this is see here that we have our hands, and they are not encumbered at all, even though we put on two things, hand wraps and light gloves. Hand wraps fit really close to the skin, and they fit well, and they only have 0 encumbrance anyway, so that helps how low encumbrance they are. And light gloves also have just 0 encumbrance. So we still are not encumbered on our hands. Plus, we made them quite a bit warmer. They're still technically a little bit cold. That's why it's negative, but it's not blue anymore. Nothing's blue anymore, but that's just because we got lucky and it turned sunny. Our legs are still pretty much cold, and our head is still pretty much cold. We might need more rags, so I think I'm going to grab another sheet. Activate my pocket knife again. And cut up the sheet again. So I'm sure. Drop down to the ground. Tab back to armor again. We're going to want a backpack for sure. Alright, let's wear that. Now if we go to our inventory, see how we have a ton more volume. Now if I cut up a sheet or something, I wouldn't have to drop them immediately because I'd have enough space in my inventory. I also wouldn't even go into my equipment slot because they're small enough. Actually, I'll just show that. Let's grab a sheet now. See that the number's not red up here. See that we didn't equip it. It's just in our inventory now. I can activate my pocket knife. Cut it up again. Drop it. Just dropping it, even though we have the space now, it's still better to just drop anything that you don't necessarily need in your inventory. Next, let's go back to our plus sign again. See that our torso is incredibly encumbered. 3. One of that's from the backpack, but the other 2 are from just the winter coat that we're wearing. Same for the arms. This winter coat is awful. I want to get rid of it for sure. So ampersand, armor, torso stuff. Make a hoodie. Oh, we failed to make it this time, but we didn't waste any materials, which is good. Let's try again. We're hungry and thirsty, but we're just going to deal with it for now. Okay, so I have a can of chicken. I'm going to press M and eat it. I got rid of some of our problems. Still a little bit thirsty. I'm going to drink this water. Well, I guess we are very thirsty. I'm going to drink the rest of this water. It says we can't finish it. Unless it says slaked and full up here, though, you're not exactly maxed out on your food and hunger, or thirst and hunger. So, as long as this doesn't say force yourself to eat or drink something, it's fine. If it just says you will not be able to finish it all, it just means you're kind of going over how much left. Like, we might be like 49 points thirsty, and this is 50. So, saying they're going a little bit overboard, but it's not going to make you sick. It says it has to force yourself to drink it, then it does mean it's going to make you sick if you do it. Don't do it if it says that. I have a plastic can and a plastic bottle. I'm going to drop those for now. Those can be useful, even though they're technically like trash. Can be used in some crafting. We have a hoodie. I'm also going to make a balaclava. This is a hat, mouth combo item. Oops, I'm pressing all sorts of buttons. That happens to me sometimes. I kind of forget what button I want to press. And we'll also make a long underwear top, because the hoodie on itself isn't going to be enough to replace a freaking winter coat. But we gotta get rid of this winter coat. It's way too much encumbrance. It's terrible. Alright. Gonna put on the long underwear top first. You'll want to put on whatever. You want to put things on like lightest layers first, kind of thing. Kind of like you do in real life. Put on the long underwear top first, and then put on the hoodie. Change it later if you want, but you just do it from the begin with. You won't have to change it. The balaclava as well. Now if we go to our plus sign menu here, see we're a little bit warmer in some places. Our torso and stuff's probably a little bit colder, but still positive and fine. You can see we can go to the torso and we can reposition things if we want by pressing S to select an item, and up and down on the arrow keys to move it. I want the long underwear top on the innermost, and the long sleeve shirt. Then I want the hoodie to be next to the backpack last. So there we go. See, our head and mouth have the balaclava on them. The mouth actually also has a knit scarf. Probably drop it. It's 50 warmth. We'd go to negative 25 warmth. So I think we'll just wear both for now. Should be okay. Our mouth might get warm at some point. Arms, this looks fine. Hands are fine. Hands are fine. Okay, so these winter boots are also giving us one encumbered. So I want to replace them, but I just know that there's really nothing that we can craft right now to replace them. Go to armor, feet, make stockings, socks, foot rags. We can't really make any of these boots or anything because it requires leather. We don't have any. That's all we need to prioritize right now. Oh, there is a bandana. 5 warmth. For some reason there's no mouth category in this thing, and it kind of annoys me. But I guess it's just piled on with head. 5 warmth would just make it negative 20 if we replace our headscarf with this. Yeah, I'm not going to prioritize that right now. Make a pair of safety glasses. I'll go ahead and make those, because it's not actually easy to find these, really. It uses up our plastic bottle, which you can do other things with the bottle that's more useful. You can see it's also using the long string that came from a window. We're going to go ahead and make those, because we don't have any eyewear right now. There we go. So our legs are what are most cold. But we can go in. Go to legs and make a long underwear bottom if we want. Nice and warm. We'll have to change the layering though. Boxer shorts, long underwear bottom, then the jeans. Still no encumbrance, which is great. So now we're in pretty good shape. Our hands are the coldest thing now, and there's not anything more we can do for those. Head's a tiny bit cold. It doesn't matter too badly. Let's look at our NPC friend just by pressing X and free looking at him. He has a MAC-10, so he has like a submachine gun type thing. It's not a very good submachine gun, but it's good enough. Okay, let's grab our makeshift crowbar again and wield it. And that should be about it for getting started. It's all the stuff you need to do to kind of prep to be ready to go into the real world. So, see our map here. Kind of a bit isolated, which is good. Not too close to the city and not too close to like water or anything. This building here is a refugee center, which is kind of a new building, I think. And it is interesting because it has all sorts of NPCs in it, and you can do jobs for them and things. And there's some plot kind of stuff in it too. But I didn't feel I didn't really like it that much when I found it once. So we're just gonna pretend like it's not really there. These do spawn working cars, though. That's the main thing. We're gonna steal one of their cars at some point. Not yet, though. Nearby we have a furniture store, jewelry store, dojo. Those are all 3 not very useful. Houses, just consider houses like things that just randomly spawn anything. Be anything in them, really. Just have to hope you get lucky and find something decent. Parking lots, I think, have a small chance of spawning a working car. Mostly the roads and parking lots will just be filled full of broken cars, though. Way down here, we have a bowling alley and a clothing store. Clothing stores are pretty nice. Gas stations are nice for once you have a car. Bar, boring. Gardening supply. There's a couple gardening supplies, so maybe we could start a farm at some point. Grocery stores. There's one here and one here. They have food for as far as the eye can see, which is amazing. But you don't want your food to really go to waste, so not necessarily grabbing it all at once anyway. The main thing, though, is these have shopping carts in them. And shopping carts are incredible. They were added in the last stable update, pretty much. It used to be that people were like, oh my god, you have to really max out how much carrying capacity you have on your guy. Have a trench coat, have the biggest backpack you can find, wear a freaking duffel bag, even though it has like 4 encumbrance. Wear as much stuff as you can to get as much volume as you can. But that was before there were shopping carts. Now you can grab these shopping carts and they have capacity of like 250 volume. It's insanely high. And now, like, really, you don't really have to worry about volume much at all anymore, which I think is nice. Shopping carts are pretty awesome, so we really want to get one of those as soon as we can. Sporting goods, kind of like a clothing store, there's pretty decent stuff in there. Church is kind of useless. Garages have a lot of stuff to repair cars with. Hotels probably have tons of zombies. These power substations, there's a small one here, big one here, another small one there. They can spawn electrical zombies. They can spawn zombie technicians. They can spawn regular lightning zombies, and they can spawn lightning zombie hulks, which are freaking scary. But if you butcher their bodies after you kill them, which you have to be able to kill them, of course, they drop biotics sometimes. Biotics are incredible. They're in-game kind of content kind of things. We're going to want to clear those out eventually once we're ready for it. An awesome thing about this map is we have water nearby. If you have water in forest, it pretty much means you can survive indefinitely, because the forest will spawn things you can hunt and eat, and all sorts of wood that you can use for fires and things. And the water is water. You can purify it into drinkable water, live indefinitely off of this stuff. So I'm actually thinking that if we can clear out one of these large power substations, that we might actually live in one of these. I've never done that before. But it's closer to the water and stuff than this starting location is. There are also some caves down here. I've never been in those. It seems like a very scary thing, so we might not mess with them. Could also just try to explore and see if we could find something better than a substation to live in, near the water. For now, we'll probably just busy ourselves with looting houses and things. But that pretty much concludes this video. We'll be doing the looting and stuff in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed, and have a good day.